Hey there, it's Bob, the voice from the box on Gaming Morning Show. Before this video, please subscribe to our channel. Every time you do, I get one more airhole for my box, so it really is appreciated. Oh, and please like and comment because we know asking helps you remember and helps us please the algorithmic being inside the computer. Thank you.
And excited to welcome in our guest today. Creative Mindframe is with us. I found Creative streaming on Facebook Gaming originally. Watched you play in Rocket League. Had a really good time just watching your stream. I actually need to probably watch more of what you do, but to be honest, it's a pleasure to have you on our show. Mike and Ryan with you on this edition of GMS. How are you doing, Creative?
I'm doing fantastic. Hanging out with you, fine fellas.
Yeah, it's great because we play a lot of Rocket League. I would anticipate a Rocket League question at some point in this interview. But let's start with, I looked at your bio, right? And everything that you do, other than the fact that I have like no musical talent whatsoever, is something like I would be interested in doing myself. Describe to us how you describe to others what it is you do on a daily or weekly basis.
Oh, so that's where I get into this term that I've dubbed called a freelance Awesomeographer. So I just try things, and if they're awesome, I keep doing them, and then I turn them into content if I do feel like sharing with the world. And then if they're not awesome, I stop doing them, and I go, I don't like that thing anymore. And so that has led me to music, so nerdcore hip hop. I take photography, or I take photos. I don't take photography. So I have a handful of lenses. I run a Canon DSLR. I like to do videography. So a lot of my music videos that are on my YouTube page, I edit them, I shoot them myself, I storyboard them myself. And then a year ago, I started streaming. So that's kind of like, oh yeah, and then American Ninja Warrior stuff. So yeah.
Okay. All right. You can do it, Mike, then. I'll let you ask that question now because I know you've been chomping at the bit.
I'm dying here because we were talking before and I was saying about how I was looking at you on American Ninja Warrior and here I am. I just mowed my grass and I feel accomplished, and then here you are. Tell us a little bit about what was that like? Was that insane? How did you even get on the show?
It was so insane. So I applied like season 13? So I applied on season 11 and I submitted my audition tape and I was like, yo, I should probably actually train because I was a track athlete. I ran track from 7th grade all the way to like 2 years after college. And so that does not make a very strong upper body for a human being. And so I was like, oh, let me go check out this ninja gym. And I went with one of my buddies. We have one that's like 25 minutes north of us. And so we went there and I went with my friend, my wife. I buy a 2-hour pass and like 40 minutes in, I turned to my wife, I was like, we had to go. I was like, I can't. Like my arms were just done. And so I just started training because I was like, in case I get called, I should probably be ready. And then I started entering, like I found out about different ninja leagues. So it's not just like the show. Yeah. Different states have their own ninja leagues. They're like world ninja leagues. And like that's more like the sport side of it versus like the production side of it. And so I started entering some Ninja League competitions and I just really enjoyed it. And so I didn't get picked for season 11, but I did go up and I did obstacle testing. So like when they were building the course, they need people to test the obstacles that have like different heights. Yeah. Like, and then they like make adjustments. And so they take your feedback and because they want to make it like achievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like if nobody gets through, then they don't have another episode to do.
Yeah.
So they adjust the difficulty though. They don't want to make it too easy. So it's got to be realistic for the different types of competitors that they have. And so I went up and did that. And man, like when I tell you like the nerves, because it's way different being above the water than it is like just doing it on the Ninja Gym floor with like the mats. Yeah. And so I was really glad that I got that out of the way because had this season been my first time doing it, I would have been so nervous. But because I'd already, when I was testing, I obviously fell in the water like several times. Yeah. And so getting that out of the way made it a lot more comfortable. So like I really got to enjoy, the experience of being there because like I wasn't nervous. I was just like up there having fun.
That's crazy. That is so impressive.
Yeah, what a good story. And another thing that you do, one of those things too, as you mentioned, making music, your album Sega City came out last January. Describe what that album's like and how someone can get access to it.
Yes. So Sega City. Oh man, we started talking about this project. I want to say 3 years ago. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with Mega Ran. He has a Forever Famicom series, which like I used to listen to, which I actually pirated back in when I, and so then he
What?
did a show in
No.
Dallas. I know, right? When I was in college, I was totally pirating his music. So then he did a show in Dallas in like 2011. And so I was like, I have to go meet this guy. I got to go buy merch. And I tell him, I was like, I've been listening to music. I'm like, got me through a bunch of tough times, and I'm like, I got to buy all your guys' stuff because I have to make up for stealing it. Right. So, I end up eventually becoming friends with him and Kate Murdoch, who ended up producing Sega City and doing like all the beats and stuff. And like we perform a lot together. Like, and Ram was actually at my wedding too. And so about 3 years ago, Kay and Ram, they go, hey, like, would you like to do a Sega album, or like an album, basically an album that you want to do? And I said, I want to do Sega. And they're like, yeah, we can make it kind of like a follow up to Forever Famicom. And so like we started tossing around ideas and like some of the games that I just grew up liking. And so Kyle just started like tossing me out beats, and we really started hammering at it like early 2020, where we just started texting a lot more and like getting some more concepts around like what the album was going to flow like. And so a lot of my game related albums are very gamey sounding, and so I wanted to do like a mix in this one where I did some of the, like just the strictly game stuff. Like Sonic the Hedgehog was like about nothing besides for Sonic the Hedgehog, right? That whole song was Sonic the Hedgehog. But I had some tracks where like the Shining Force track, we talked about like the political climate, but we snuck it in there, right? So everything was like, it was still about the game, but we were sneaking things in. And then like Comic Zone just talked about like, my whole life's progression to that point. And so it was, it's easily like my favorite album that I've done to date. And like Kyle did such a great job with the mixing, like creating the beats, all the mastering, and just like bringing to life the concepts that we texted about. And like when he would get my verses and stuff, he would rework everything around it. So I really love the album. Like I'm very proud of it. Like
it sounds amazing. We'll be sending out a link for people to get it on Bandcamp, and continue to send people your way on Facebook, of course. But the reason we have you here is because you're going to play a game called 5 Questions GMS. Let's do that right now with Creative Mindframe on Gaming Morning Show. All right, let's fire up the box here. We got to get Bob ready to go, because I don't know if you've heard about this, but it is an incredibly nerve-wracking experience. Everyone who comes on here just is panicky. They just don't know what to do with themselves. Okay, that's
very hard.
If you can do Ninja Warrior, I think there's a pretty good shot at you.
Or any of the other 1,000 amazing, incredible things you're doing. If you could be just like a little less awesome, just so I can come up a little bit,
If you want to go golfing, like just
good. Me too.
Let's
it'll be fun.
Okay, we can be horrible together and just have a great time.
Question number 1, if you would, Bob, is we asked you before the show what your favorite material, possession, or brand is, and you said Super Mario RPG SNES game. So this is a good opportunity to ask you how you got into gaming, but why also that particular possession means so much to you.
Okay, so how did I get into gaming? Gosh, I've been playing video games since I was like 3 or 4 years old. The first time I played, my mom used to babysit these 2 kids, and they had a Sega Genesis, and so when we'd go over, I'd get to play. And so I just got like super obsessed. And my older sister, she liked playing, she's a couple years older than me, she liked playing games. And so we had this plan to ask for 2 Sega Game Gears for Christmas when I was 5. And I deviated from the plan and cried in the store. My parents asked why I was crying, and I said, I want a Super Nintendo. I don't want a Sega Game Gear. My sister will never forget about this, even to this day. And so that's how I've been gaming since. Like, I got a paper route when I was in middle school to buy my own consoles. I would use birthday money to buy consoles, so I always was like getting consoles. The reason why Mario RPG, it's just one of like the best games ever. I remember playing it when I was a kid, and like it was just like the story was just so good, and you'll never get a crossover like that again, right? Like Square Enix and Nintendo, they're not doing it. Like we won't get it. And like, it's just a brilliant masterpiece. The Axum Rangers, like everything about it is great. I have a copy of it that my wife got me when we started dating over on my game collection shelf.
That's so cool.
Correct. Yes.
The good news
Ding!
is I think I kind of snuck in, Mike, you can tell me if it's right. I snuck in multiple questions in one question, so I think like at least 2 for 1 so far.
It's 2. I think it's 2 points so
All
far.
right, 2 points for creative mind frame. Question number 2.
2.
All right, number 2. Your album Sega City was released last January, as we established. You can purchase on Bandcamp. So we're going to ask you a question about Sega games that include the word city. According to Wikipedia's list of Sega Genesis games page, one of these was a licensed game by Sega. Was it eSWAT, City Under Siege, City of Donuts, or Gotham City Batmobile Speed?
Ooh. I'm going to go A. eSWAT, City Under Siege.
eSWAT, City Under Siege. Robert? What do you think?
Ding, ding, ding. You
Hey!
are a genius.
I mean, listen, a game that's called Gotham City Batmobile Speed, I actually might be interested in. So
I know.
City of Donuts, but I never heard of the other one.
I was like, I thought about that for a second, and I was like, I don't recall there being like a Batman racing game on any of the, and that was like my prime time SNES Sega. So I was like, if it wasn't there, and like I didn't rent it from the grocery store, yeah, that's how old I am. Is we were renting games from the grocery store. Thank you.
According to Wiki, the game was a side-scrolling platformer similar to Shinobi. So that seemed pretty
Shinobi
cool.
was
It
so
followed,
hard.
It was. I don't think I've never beaten it, and I probably never will. That's why I learned the art of rage quitting.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I'm just out. I'm out.
Yep.
You should try the game called The Messenger. It's on Steam, and it's like a beatable Shinobi with a really great storyline. Yeah,
Mike's taking notes
it's amazing.
right now.
I saw it at one of the PAXs. I got to play like a demo, and I was like, oh, I followed them immediately on Twitter. I was like, I'm buying this the second it came out, and it came out like a year later.
Kalaf is our head of research and development. We'll have Kalaf
3.
take that note for Mike, please. That would be appreciated. Good advice from Creative Mind Frame. Question number 3 for you, as you go into this 3 of 2. We asked for something that you seem to know a lot about that not others seemingly do, and your answer, which is one of my favorites so far in the history of this game, is business process optimization. What is business process optimization?
A man after Ryan's heart.
So you take engineering principles and you apply them to like business operations. So I essentially treat like business processes like machines, and then I figure out ways to reduce variation, optimize it, make it faster, make it so you're not spending your time doing stupid stuff.
That's music to my ears. Is it at all related to Kaizen?
Yeah, so that's one of the tools that
Okay.
you would use. Like you would do a Kaizen to go through and like do the identification of, you have something that you're trying to solve. You identify the actual problem, set your SMART objective, then you get all together and you're like, okay, let's do a quick walkthrough of the entire process, and then like let's do an analysis together in the room, and then let's come up with ideas and then start testing them. So I've run several Kaizens.
Someday when we need someone on a board, you might get a phone call from me or something, just so you know.
I got
Just
you.
wanna let
I got you.
Correct.
That is correct.
4.
I'm still confused.
We'll talk
Well,
about it in post, Mike. It'll be
Okay,
good, I
gotcha.
promise.
All right, you said a lot of big things. I like Kaizen though. I believe I have soy sauce with that usually. So we asked you if you have a favorite joke, dad joke or otherwise.
Yeah.
You said yes. So what is it? Tell us your favorite joke.
All right. So this one, it's okay. It's not actually that funny, but the reason why I like it is because
It fits.
it made my dad laugh, and he's a chemist, and like he doesn't like get a lot of jokes. My family immigrated to the U.S. like right after I was born, so like my dad's humor is a lot different than what I've grown up with. So I text him and go, Dad. So 2 chemists go into a bar. The first one says, I think I'll have an H2O. The second one says, I think I have an H2O too. And the second one died. And then my dad just goes, ha, 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 that is funny, Kwame, because that is poisonous. I was like, because he's a chemistry professor, so.
He's writing you
awesome.
back. He's writing you back something. He's like, yes, that's factually accurate. That person.
Yeah,
exactly.
like,
That is so fun. I'm gonna have to tell my wife that. My wife is a biology/chemistry teacher.
nice,
So,
yeah, she'll like it.
I love it.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. So
Yes.
Good job. 5 out of 4 so far, so you have a very good chance
5.
to finish at over 100%. We play Rocket League about 6 games per show every weekday, and I don't know if we've improved other than Sean, who's our video game expert this whole time. Although, Mike, honestly, you're pretty good at it, too. My point in all of this, though, is you play Rocket League as well. I think that's actually why I tuned into you the first time. I was looking for someone playing Rocket League. So, what are a few of your favorite things? What are a few of the best things about Rocket League?
The skill ceiling is like almost non-existent because people just find different ways. I've been playing since 2016, I want to say. I originally bought it. A guy I know had some music in it, so I was like, "Oh, I'll buy it to support and show some love." I'm like, "I'm never gonna play this game. It looks dumb." And then here I am. I've been playing it like almost every day for the last 5 years. And even since I started playing, just the type of gameplay that exists at all the different levels completely is just different. Like flip resets didn't exist when I first started playing. Rumble and all of those weren't even extra modes, and then when they became extra modes, they weren't ranked. And so I really like enjoy the fact that it's like the community is constantly figuring out like different types of maneuvers, mechanics, and it's just fun. Like playing soccer with a rocket powered like car. It's just so fun. Like
what
I
do
don't
you?
know, it just never gets old.
What do you think about the like the football and the hockey modes? What are your thoughts on those?
I thought the football mode was hilarious, and it was so toxic though. So I would go in with a full squad, so I didn't have to deal with people being toxic, and it was just fun. We would just act a fool and just. I hate hockey though. Like snow day is
Thank you.
I like hockey like as an actual sport. I just don't like the hockey mode on Rocket League.
It was terrible.
Oh, my heart stopped. I'm wearing my Flames
No.
hat. I'm sitting here being like,
we're
no.
talking video games,
I
man.
know,
We're a
but
video game show.
I just hear it. I hear it.
It just hurts my soul like playing because
bad.
like they're only okay, and I do play it like every now and then on stream just because there are a handful of people that like seeing it. And they're always like, "Oh, bless you, thank you for," because they know how much I just dislike it. Because here's my thing: you can pinch the ball, or you can take it up the wall and then like off the ceiling, and then do like the ceiling shot. Those are the only like two outside of like trying to dribble around and like scoop it around. You can barely air dribble it. And if you are air dribbling it, if you hit it wrong, it'll just fly. It's like pew, like gone. So,
Yeah.
and those are the things I like about the game is like there's so many different things to do, and like Snow Day just has so many fewer of those things that have been learned and created as mechanics in the game. So,
you had that stellar performance. I think maybe up to 7 out of 5.
You are a
at
genius.
this point.
So we might put you on the eventual 5 questions wall of fame. Creative Mind Frame streaming on Facebook Gaming. You can find facebook.com/Creative Mind Frame, and also check out the new album Sega City out in January on Bandcamp. Thank you. I'm happy we were finally able to connect, have you on the show. We'd all like to play some Rocket League sometime down the road. It'll be a lot of fun.
let's do it. Let's make it happen.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.